Selling is all about relationships and building trust. At Greenway, it's our people that have built the business. We're fortunate to have a team with years of experience. They know John Deere equipment inside and out and go the extra mile to take care of our customers.
And right now is a great time to talk to one of us about a new tractor. Get 0% APR financing for 72 months on a John Deere compact utility tractor. Nothing runs like a Deere.
From Greenway Equipment Sales, family owned and operated since 1994.
And good morning, everyone, as we have the North Atlantic Conference Championship games here today. First, starting off with men's soccer, as it's SUNY Delhi Broncos taking on the Husson men soccer team. I'm Isaac Potter alongside Avery Henningsen. And Avery, it's hard to believe today is the championship game.
Yeah, it's definitely been a long season, and both these teams have played some good soccer this year.
Definitely, and we'll take a quick little look over here at SUNY Delhi. We'll take a look at their playoff run. Last weekend, they defeated number 3 SUNY Canton in a 1-0 victory. Michael Williams Jr. scoring that goal. And on October 30th, they faced the number 1 team, SUNY Poly, the reigning NAC champions, and they won 1-0. Gabriel Monterosa scored the goal. Anthony Kuehler with the assist. And then taking over a look at Husson last weekend, they came away with a victory over number 4 ranked Maine Maritime Academy, 3-2. And on October 30th, they picked up the 2-1 victory over number 3 ranked Thomas College. And that was a game where they were trailing 1-0 at halftime and then scored 2 goals to take the victory in that second half. Now, Avery, last time these two teams played was on September 24th, and the game ended in a 1-1 tie. And I remember you saying something how, we could possibly see these two teams play against each other in the championship game, and here we are once again right here at Boucher Field and facing off against one another.
Yeah, that was a very windy game there, Isaac, back in September. And obviously Husson, I don't believe they started most of the players that are going to be starting today, but this Delhi team showed that they have the skill to tie and or beat this Husson squad that's been very deadly in the end of the season run that they've had.
And they definitely have had a great run to get here for both of these teams, and we should be in for a really exciting game, as in that game it was Carlo Echeverry scoring a goal in that game, and then for SUNY Delhi it was Justin Halunka scoring a goal in the game as well. We'll send it over to Becky Bubarb with the starting lineups and the national anthem.
Student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from Boucher Field. Introducing starters. First for the visiting Broncos. In goal, a senior from Brewster, New York, number 1, Jonathan Walsh. Freshman from West Babylon, New York, number 6, Vaughn Botex. Sophomore from Lake Grove, New York, number 9, Michael Williams Jr. Senior from Liberty, New York, number 10, Anthony Cuellar. Senior from Poughkeepsie, New York, number 12, Cesar Cruz Vasquez. Freshman from Franklin, New York, number 13, Matt Cerro. Sophomore from Staten Island, New York, number 15, Eric Gluckowski. Senior from Monticello, New York, number 17, Kevin Sikorsky. Senior from Levittown, New York, number 20, Justin Holenka. Freshman from Goshen, New York, number 24, Andrew Alsbeck. Freshman from Bucharest, New York, number 25, Eric Manta. SUNY Delhi under the direction of E.J. Rudeman, Pat Pigeon, and Ryan Jakeway. And now the starters for the home Eagles. In goal, the sophomore from Lucerne, Switzerland, number 1, Alex Rechsteiner. Sophomore from Madrid, Spain, number 4, Pedro Molina. Junior from Concord, New Hampshire, number 6, Mosi Masamongo. Sophomore from Madrid, Spain, number 9, Mario Alvarez. Sophomore from Madrid, Spain, number 11, Alejandro Mora. senior from Dedham, Massachusetts, number 20, Ben Shumway. Freshman from Caracas, Venezuela, number 21, Carlos Echevers. A freshman from Caracas, Venezuela, number 22, Miguel Morales. A sophomore from Garberbeer, Iceland, number 24, Arnie Heridason. A senior from Barcelona, Spain, number 26, Gerard Arias. Eagles are coached by Gavin Penny, assisted by Stephen Berenini, Alex Caballero, Matt Goodman, and Carlos Bermudez. At this time, we ask all fans to please rise and remove your hats as we honor our country with the playing of our national anthem.
And that was the national anthem along with the starting lineups. We want to take a moment to thank today's game sponsors: Performance PT, designing a healthier you; Greenway Equipment Sales in Ellsworth and Bangor; Nothing Runs Like a Deer; Governor's Restaurant; and Casella, giving resources new life. And Avery, you want to go down quickly once again through the starting lineups for both of these teams?
Yeah, if you couldn't quite hear it there, number 1, Jonathan Welch is starting in goal for this Delhi Broncos team. Number 6, Vaughn Botex. Number 9, Michael Williams. Number 10, Anthony Cuellar. Number 12, Cesar Cruz Vasquez. Number 13, Matt Serro. Number 15, Eric Klutchkowski. Number 17, Kevin Sikorsky. Number 20, Justin Halanka. Number 24, Andrew Alspec. And number 25, Eric Manta. And for the Eagles on the other side of it, we have number 1, Alex Rechsteiner starting in goal. Number 4, Pedro Molina. Number 6, Mosey Masamango. Number 9, Mario Alvarez. Number 11, Alejandro Mora. Number 15, Rafael Beckenbauer. Number 20, Ben Shumway. Number 21, Carlos Echevers. Number 22, Miguel Morales. Number 24, Arnie Heridason. And number 26, Gerard Arias is the captain for this Eagles squad.
Thank you for that, Avery. And we're just about getting ready to get things underway here in the North Atlantic Conference Championship game. I'm really excited to be able to, see how this one turns out. I really think this is going to be a good game between both of these teams. Like we kind of mentioned in the pregame show, both of these teams tied the last time we saw them face against one another back in September. And, obviously, Avery, what's going to be key for both of these teams if they want to come out and win this game?
I think whichever team can score early here today, Isaac, both these teams have shown the ability to score in the playoffs, and that's something that's very important for both of them.
Absolutely. And last time it was Husson, if I remember right. They did score a little bit early on in the game. It was a goal from Carlos Echevers. Then probably about the last, 15 minutes of the game, SUNY Delhi ended up responding back, scoring a goal, and was able to force the tie here as Eagles getting ready to break the huddle here. But definitely a player to keep an eye out for SUNY Delhi, Michael Williams Jr., so far having 11 goals on the season, 2 assists, 24 points. And someone to keep an eye out for Husson, Arnie Heridason, who had 8 goals, 4 assists, and 20 points on the season. And we are right about to get things underway here, and it's going to be the Eagles starting off with possession. Ryderson, give it over to Masimango, and here we go.
Yeah, and I'm excited here today. I think I'm a little bit under the weather, but I wouldn't be anywhere else on this sunny Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, definitely. It's a beautiful sunny afternoon. It's kind of unusual to have this kind of nice weather in the beginning of November, and it's a beautiful day for championship soccer. It's Molina gives it over to Morales, finds its way over towards Beckenbauer, gives it to Mora, gives it to Alvarez. Alvarez gives it back over to Mora, over to Arias on the right side, but it's going to be kicked out there by Sorrow. And last game for the Eagles, we didn't see Mora as he picked up a red card in the quarterfinals, but they ended up having to switch it, and Pablo Morato will not, they awarded the red card to the wrong person. So Morato is going to be sitting out in today's game, and Mora will be able to play today.
Yeah, unlucky for both of them there, as obviously they deserve the calls they got, but to have Mora miss that semifinals game last week and then have it reversed and he could have played last weekend is definitely something that I'm sure nagged him a little bit this weekend.
Absolutely, as Masimango gives it over towards Molina. Molina bringing it up. Finds Echeverse. Echeverse gives it to Ryderson. Ryderson's going to try a shot there, and it's going to be picked up there by number 1, Jonathan Walsh.
And something we've been seeing a lot with this Eagles squad, Isaac, is the inability to capitalize early in these games. That they seem to get a lot of scoring opportunities in the first half and can never quite find the back of the net. And I think for them to come away with this victory here today, that's definitely something they're going to have to change.
Yeah, and we kind of saw that in their East Championship game against Thomas that first half. You know, they had lots of looks, but they just were not able to find the back of the net. They were able to clean up and was able to overcome a 1-0 deficit at halftime to come back and win in that game. But, you know, definitely it's something to keep an eye out for here in this NAC championship game. Arias trying to get it there, but it's going to be kicked out there by Sorrow, still with Husson.
And to have Mora back for this game is definitely a big boost for this Eagles squad. He's somebody who he started off the season with an injury, but has really come back strong in the second half. And during his rookie season last year was certainly someone who could do it all out on the field for this Eagles team.
Absolutely, as we're going to get a foul called there on Michael Williams Jr., giving a shove to the back to Ben Shumway. Will be given back over to the Eagles.
Yeah, and he's somebody who this Eagles defense is going to have to watch out for today. He's the leading goal scorer for this team and has 11 on the season, and is certainly someone who can break a game wide open out there.
He definitely can. He's a very talented player. He's a sophomore from Lake Grove, New York. And it's going to be a throw in here for the Broncos. Sorrow will try to give it towards Halunka. Sorrow looked to send it inside towards Williams Jr., but headed out there by Molina. SUNY Delhi also had a very impressive playoff run as well, holding SUNY Canton and SUNY Poly to no goals at all. So, you know, give credit to SUNY Delhi's defense to be able to hold it scoreless and to be able to pull out 2 1-0 victories.
Yeah, and those are also both teams that the SUNY Delhi team lost to just weeks prior to that playoff run, and they showed this over the last week or so that they can get it done when it matters out there, Isaac.
They definitely can, and you know, obviously we saw when the last time these two teams played, you know, they were able to hold Husson to 1 goal, played good defense, able to score that 1 goal of their own, and able to force the tie. And so it should set up for a very good game here, as that's going to be kicked out there by Halunka. This ball's going to be sent down towards Williams. Williams trying to find someone. He's going to send a crossover, and Rechsteiner will pick it up and roll it right over to Shumway. Arias on the right side towards us. Looking to find a teammate. We'll pull it back over to Shumway. We'll give it over to Pedro Molina. Him and Molina did a lot of good things on the defense on the season, coming away with some NAC Conference awards.
Yeah, both these teams, and especially this Husson defense, they had several players out there, including Arnie Hryerson, who was a first-team forward, and Mosey Masamango, Ben Shumway, and Pedro Molina back on that defense were all first-team players, and they're really the core of this team. That there's players who can lock down the opposing team's offenses out there, and Alex Rechsteiner in goal also earned that first-team honors, and that whole defense as a whole was really what the strength of this Husson team is out there.
Right, and I mean, their defense was a big reason why they went 8-0-1 in conference play on the regular season, only giving up one tie, and that one tie was to this SUNY Delhi team. But a lot of good things from Husson's defense, from Shumway to Molina to Masimango. They definitely did a lot of good things on the season, and a big reason of why they were able to host the NAC East playoffs this season.
Well, both Shumway and Molina played well over 1,300 minutes on this season, and have really been iron horses out there for this Husson defense, and they're players that Coach Gavin Penny can rely on out there to get the job done.
As Ryerson tries to find Echeverse, but it's going to be kicked out there by the Broncos.
And for this Delhi team, their coach won Coach of the Season, and as well as Michael Williams was a first-team player, and a couple other players, and Eric Klichkowski and Vaughn Botex were both second-team players as well. And there's certainly another very talented roster here in this NAC division.
Yeah, they definitely are. And I mean, just from watching them play in that game here, Husson, I always had like a feeling. I was like, man, this is a team I could possibly meet in the championship game. They have that potential, and this could have possibly, I had that feeling that it could have possibly been a NAC championship preview, and it definitely turned out to be that way as Molina kicks it up in the air. But, Coach Rudeman, in his second season at the helm of SUNY Delhi, to be able to take them to the NAC championship has to be a good feeling for him.
Well, he really turned this team around as well. As last season, they were 3-12-1 in his first season as a head coach, and he really turned them around this year and got them into the double digits for wins, and he's certainly somebody who's made a difference for this Delhi program.
And kind of another cool fact that I found out, I believe this is the third time that both of these schools have played against each other. Obviously, there was one earlier on this season, but they also played against each other in 2019, and it was SUNY Delhi who came away with a 2-1 victory over Husson. So a lot of those players probably on the field, that was probably around their freshman year. And, here they are playing against each other in the championship. So,
yeah, this Delhi team has a few seniors out there who I'm sure played in that game.
Yeah, and as it's going to be Alsbeck who's going to take this kick here. Sends it in towards the box, headed out there by Molina. Williams Jr. is going to have a shot and just goes too far to the left. But a good opportunity there for the Broncos.
Yeah, and he was trying to have that one come in over his right shoulder and just get a toe on it and try to poke it into one of those corners, but just couldn't quite get a full touch on it.
I believe he received that pass kind of over from Cuellar, and it was a good look and just put it a little bit too far to the left on him. Masimango over to Arias, finds it to Mora. Mora bringing it up on the right side, keeps it in play, but going to be kicked out there by Halunka. Halunka did score the lone goal the last time these two teams played. Masimango over towards Molina. Molina's going to try a shot from a distance, and it's going to go all the way across the street into the parking lot.
Yeah, and that one just kept rising, but it was a good idea there for Molina, who's shown that if they give him those little gaps near the top of the 18, he's not afraid to take a shot from there.
Molina, only a sophomore on this team. Lots of good things on the season. Also a very good passer as well, and was definitely deserving of first team All-NAC this year. Ball's sent down the field, tried to give it towards Williams. Molina and Shumway getting to it. Shumway's going to kick it out. Beckenbauer. It's going to find its way over to Cruz Vasquez. Beckenbauer trying to take it away and is able to draw the foul, and it's going to be Pedro Molina now taking it. Molina gives it over to Rex Steiner. Rex Steiner gives it to Shumway. Shumway bringing it up. Shumway tries to send it down towards Mora. Taken away there by the Broncos.
And an excellent job there from Shumway to intercept that through ball that almost found its way to Williams Jr.
As Morales is able to draw the foul there after the trip from Cruz Vasquez. What I've been kind of noticing so far, the Broncos have really been going to more of a defensive approach here in this first half. You haven't really seen them, I guess, pressure kind of the Hussons, Shumway and Molina. They're kind of more focusing up on the forwards like Heriderson and Arias and stuff. Alvarez tries to send it in towards the box. Shumway heads it from it going out of bounds, and it's going to be picked up there by Walsh. Mario Alvarez had a really good postseason. Had 2 goals in the win over Maine Maritime Academy. Miguel Morales also had a very good postseason as well.
This is something that I think we need to watch out for a little bit today, Isaac, as both Molina and Shumway, Coach Penny likes to send them up on those free kick plays over in the offensive third, and I'm sure that's something with Welch having as big of a punt as he does, this Delhi team could exploit that a little bit and catch them out of their own defensive third. And obviously, Masamongo and other players back there are very talented, but to have that sort of offensive pressure off the punt can be something that's very dangerous.
It definitely can be, as the ball's going to be sent in towards the box, and Rex Steiner will easily pick that one up. So he will roll it over to Shumway, and Eagles once again will look to bring it up. Masimango handling it here. Echeverse over to Masimango. Masimango over to Mora. Mora gives it to Alvarez. Alvarez will pull it back to Shumway. Molina now. Eagles looking to be very patient offensively. Trying to find Heriderson on the left side. And good defense there by Alsbeck and able to force the turnover.
And this Husson crowd's filled in a little bit here today, Isaac, has. Right at the start of this game, there wasn't that many people in the stands, but it's certainly gotten a little bit packed out there now.
Yeah, definitely a good crowd turnout here for the championship game. There's also a Husson football game that's going to be going on at noontime. So it's a little bit going to be a busy day here at Husson University, but lots of exciting action going on. Also see lots of people from SUNY Delhi making the long trip up to watch their team here. Definitely a good thing to see. Morales gives it over to Masimango. It's also going to be the girls' game right after this in the NAC championship between both of the same schools. That should be also a great game to watch as well. Alvarez has that one taken away there by Cruz Vasquez. Monta tries to stay with it, and it will go out of play. Be a throw in here for the Eagles. As I think they were just clarifying to make sure who it went off, and they said it went off the Eagles. It's going to be number 13, Matt Sorrow, who's going to have the throw-in. 29:30 left to play here in this first half. Score still remaining scoreless here in this North Atlantic Conference Championship game. Echeverse trying to stay with it, but the ball will find its way over to Alsbeck. And
I think they're going to call Williams Jr. there for an offsides call on that middle of the field there.
Yep, he just went a little bit too far over. And he did that last game too, and the last time these two teams play. He's really good at being sneaky to be able to get in front and to, get a good chance to get a shot off. And just this time, he just was a little bit too much. As Alvarez tries to find Mora, but goes a little bit too far to the left for him. As Sorrow will kick it out of play. A throw in here for the Eagles. Arias will give it in to Mora. Back to Arias. Arias making some nice moves. Looking to get inside the box. Gives it to Mora. And it's going to be kicked out there by Klorowski. And we're going to have our first corner kick of this game.
Yeah, this is definitely a play that this Husson team's going to look to capitalize on here today, Isaac.
As Mario Alvarez is going to take this corner kick here. Alvarez, get ready. Send it in towards the box. Be kicked out there by Walsh. As it's Sorrell finding Williams Jr. Gives it to Cruz Vasquez. Taken away there by Masimango. Over to Mora. Tries to give it back to Masimango. Stays with it. We'll pull it back to Alvarez. To Echeverse. Echeverse. And that'll be kicked out there by Sorrell. Good play by him as the ball will roll all the way down. Molina will save it from going out of play. Give it over to Rex Steiner. He's going to send it down towards Arias. Headed out there by Monta. Cuellar tries to give it over towards Halunka, but lose it. And it'll be a throw in here for the Broncos. Sorrell with the throw in here. Headed out there by Arias. Echeverse is going to kick it up in the air. Find its way over to Sikorsky.
Yeah, I think Echeverse was trying to send that one up towards Morales there, but just couldn't quite get his hips around on that ball.
Yeah, that's what it definitely looked to be like. Botex gets a throw in. Beckenbauer will send it down towards the midfield, but kicked again there by Alsbeck. Masimango now taken away here for the Eagles. Alvarez will give it over towards Shumway. Eagles will look to, once again, look for the patient approach here.
Yeah, and part of that's the fruit of this Delhi offense not really putting a lot of pressure on this Husson defense right now.
Yeah, they seeming to let, Shumway and Molina bring it up, towards the midfield before they add some pressure to it.
Well, I believe they're trying to get this Husson offense that is used to having a lot of opportunities a little bit impatient out there, as they're not really allowing them to have that many shooting opportunities. And it's definitely something to watch to see if this Husson offense and or defense can stay patient out there for the course of this whole game.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm sure that was a game plan going in here for the Broncos, just knowing that, Husson likes to score early and then try to take control of that game. And so, obviously, that's probably, the Broncos looking to go to that defensive approach to try to slow that down and then just really try to go for it in the second half. This is going to be a kick here for Alspec. Alspec finds way over to Cuellar. Ryderson trying to stay with it, but kicked up in the air by Kolowski. Beckenbauer gives it to Morales. So the whistle stops there for a second. We'll have to do another throw-in. Morales. Bringing it up, gives it over towards Alvarez. Alvarez pulls it back to Masimango. Over to Mora. Mora handling it to Alvarez. Gives it to Echeverse inside, trying to get inside the box. Tries a shot, and it's going to be scooped up there by Walsh.
Yeah, and an excellent attempt there from Echeverse as he found a little bit of space there at the top of the 18 and took a rip on that goal.
It definitely was a good look there from him, and Walsh was able to pick it up. Ball finds its way down towards Williams Jr. Tries to give a pass over, and it's going to be kicked up in the air by Beckenbauer, and the ball's going to roll over towards Rechsteiner. He'll give it over to Molina. Far left side here. Molina. We'll give it over there to Alspec. Alspec will kick that out of play. Be a throw in here for the Eagles.
And Delhi just continues to clear anything that comes into their defense right now, and they just don't want to let this Husson Eagles squad have any opportunities out there on the pitch.
Shumway on the right side. We'll try to give it to Alvarez. And taken away there by SUNY Delhi. Cruz Vasquez over to Shumway. Mora to Arias. Back over to Shumway, and we'll give it right back to Arias. Molina now. Bring it towards the midfield. Echeverse gives it to Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer looking to get room to cross, and that's going to go a little bit too far over. Arias trying to chase it down, and it'll be given back over to SUNY Delhi.
Yeah, and Beckenbauer just got way too much power on that cross there, and we'll see if Husson tries to trap Delhi down in this corner here.
As a sub here for SUNY Delhi, Gabriel Monterosa will check in for number 20, Justin Halunka. Molina has it. He will give it over to Rechsteiner. Send it over towards Shumway. Shumway now. Over to Alvarez. To Molina. Molina bringing it up. We'll give it over to Shumway. Shumway has that one taken away there by Monterosa. Arias now bringing it up. Gets tripped up there by Cruz Vasquez, and this will be a good look here for the Eagles.
And an excellent job there by Shumway to recover a little bit and get that out towards Arias, who tried to make him move in towards that center of the 18, but got tripped up there over on that right side.
It was good work by him to draw that foul, and it's going to set up a chance here for Husson.
Yeah, and we've seen Alvarez make these types of plays before, Isaac, and I would not be surprised if he's going to take a shot here.
It's Alvarez will look to take this kick here. Waiting for his teammates to line up. He'll send it in towards the box, towards Molina. Molina just goes over the net. It was a great pass through.
Yeah, and Molina just couldn't quite get his head over the ball there, Isaac, and that was very nearly that goal that this Husson Eagles squad needed to get that little bit of an ease in their chest.
Yeah, it was a great look there, and Molina was wide open and tried to head it in, and kind of goes back the other down the field, shaking his head, knowing that he had a missed opportunity there. Molina. It's going to be a throw in here for SUNY Delhi. Finds his way over towards Botex. Beckenbauer now, he will give it over to Molina. Molina. Give it over to Shumway. Shumway. Bringing it up. Shumway gives it to Arias. Arias with a nice pass. And it looks like Arias is hurt there. And he looks to be having looks like a wrist or a finger injury there. And hopefully he looks to be okay. As both teams will go back to their huddles as the trainer will check up on him.
Yeah, he got tackled there over on that right side and went down. I think he landed on, looked like his right hand.
Yeah, that's what it looked like there. And as he gets helped up there, as he's going to go over and be checked there by the trainer. As we will going to see a sub here now for the Eagles. It's going to be number 29, Nate Chamberlain, who will check into the game for the Eagles.
And Chamberlain's a player who shows a lot of effort out there on the field, and certainly a good player to come in off the bench for this Eagles team and make an immediate impact out there.
Yeah, Chamberlain is a guy who did start a few games on the season for the Eagles. He does a lot of good things out there and plays hard when he's out there, so see how he goes here. Also, number 29, Sinus Buzikos, just checked into the game here for SUNY Delhi.
Yeah, and Coach Rootman for this Delhi team is trying to get some new players up on offense and let them run around out there. And, so you can give Williams a little bit of a break and let some of these other guys come out there and run around for 5 minutes and play their hearts out and potentially get a goal out there on the field.
Yeah, it's, it definitely is nice to have. SUNY Delhi definitely has a deep bench itself to be able to go to weapons and kind of give players some breathers. Both of these teams are very similar in their ways. They have a very deep bench, lots of good scoring players, and obviously it's a big reason why both of these teams are playing here today. Shumway will give it over to Mora. Mora bringing it up on the right side. Makes a nice move. Tries to give it over towards Heriderson, but kicked out there by Klowski. And Rechsteiner kind of loses it there. And he will give it over there to Molina. A little bit of a scare there for Eagles fans.
Yeah, and Rechsteiner does that a lot out there, Isaac, that he'll sometimes be just a little bit too calm with it, and he often scares me out there on the field. He has excellent footwork out there, and he's certainly a goalkeeper who can play it with his feet, but he definitely scares me sometimes.
Yeah, and that's one thing I'm always so, impressed with Rechsteiner is he's always so calm and composed. No matter if someone may be coming up right behind him, he always is very patient with it. Doesn't really pick it up much. It just makes a nice pass over, and that's a big reason why he was named to the All-First team this year. So, as Walsh will kick it up in the air. Finds his way over to Alvarez. Gives it to Molina on the far left side of us. Gives it over to Shumway. Shumway will give it to Mora. Mora Give it over to Masimango. To Molina. Molina towards Morales. Morales trying to make a move. It's going to be kicked out there by Cruz Vasquez. Uzikos gives a pass over to Cuellar. Beckenbauer is going to have to chase it down, and we'll give it to Rechsteiner. Rechsteiner, pull it back, give it over to Shumway. Shumway, bringing it up. Give it to Hariderson, tries to give it to Hariderson. Mora, pull it back, gives it back over to Rechsteiner. 16-10 left to play here in this first half. Score still remaining scoreless here. Really has just been a defensive battle by both of these teams so far.
Yeah, neither team's really had a great opportunity. Obviously, I think Husson probably had the best opportunity of the game with that Molina header that just went over the top of the crossbar. But other than that, this Delhi defense has done a really nice job of locking down this very talented Husson offense.
Yeah, I would definitely say that, Husson has basically controlled possession for most of the game, but, they've really had difficulties trying to, get those looks. SUNY Delhi had one look where Williams Jr. just sent it a little bit too far to the left, and then Molina had, like you mentioned, Molina had that one where he headed it and just went over the net there. It's just really been a good defensive battle by both teams. Shumway heads it up in the air. Buzikos trying to get to it. Cuellar trying to get behind Molina, and Molina will take it away.
Yeah, and this Delhi defense, Isaac, is almost playing like a six-back defense, which I've never really seen before, especially in this championship level. And they're definitely trying to play for potentially a tie at halftime or get that one goal and then hold on to it.
Right, that's what it definitely looks to be like, is they want to try to go into halftime because, they obviously know that, Husson is a team that likes to score early, and when they score early, they really take control of the game. So I'm sure that was definitely something that Coach Ruderman was trying to, add to for the week, as Gerard Arias just checked back into the game for Nate Chamberlain. It's good to see him back out there.
Yeah, he was shaking his hand a little bit, but I think he's going to be all right out there, Isaac. At least it's a hand injury, which in soccer it's not all that essential out there on the field, but probably definitely stung.
As Hariderson gives it over to Etcheverse. Etcheverse trying to find Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer tries to save it. Going to be kicked out there. Off the Eagles, be a throw-in for SUNY Delhi. It's going to be number 6, Von Botex, the freshman from West Babylon, New York. Almost every single one of these players on the roster is from New York, except for Cristobal Garzon, who is from Santiago, Chile.
Luke Palomidis as well out there, who's a sophomore midfielder. He's from New Jersey, which is pretty much New York, but
yeah, definitely. As basically they're right nearby. I'd say probably like an hour or so, probably apart. As Mora, we give it over to Arias, and clock stops, and an injury happens to be on the fields. Looks like I think it's number 5, Gabriel Monterosa, down.
yeah, I didn't really see what happened there, Isaac. Looks like the trainer's checking out his right ankle out there and might have just gotten stepped on or twisted a little bit on the turf out there.
It's going to be number 4, Luke Palomidis, like you mentioned, from New Jersey, checking into the game here. As it's going to be Arias who's going to as the Eagles will still remain with possession here. And they will still have it. As the ball will find its way over to SUNY Delhi. They'll send it down the field. Rex Steiner. Give it over to Molina. Molina will give it over towards Morales. Back over to Molina. We give it to Shumway. Shumway bringing it up. Gives it to Mora. Mora tries to give it to Ryderson, but taken away there by Cruz Vasquez. Masimango. Give it over to Echeverse. 12:02 left to play here in this first half. Ball will roll its way down over to Rex Steiner. Give it to Molina. Molina on the far side of us. Both teams looking to try to score the first goal before halftime here. Mora tries to find Ryderson. And the Husson fans looking for a handball call, but no whistle.
Yeah, it just kind of kicked up and into his hand there, and I think I saw it a little bit too out there, Isaac, but I believe the head referee called that unintentional as he had his arms at his side and just bounced up there.
Yeah, and then I think too, they might have possibly called Ryderson with an offsides call too as well. And I think that's kind of maybe why he just let it play out. So Molina will give it over. Masimango would kick it up in the air. Will still remain with SUNY Delhi. Broncos looking to try to make an approach here. Beckenbauer over towards Molina. Molina will bring it up. Molina continuing to be very patient here. Gives it over to Shumway. Shumway to Arias. Arias to Mora. Mora will pull it back. Gives it to Alvarez. Alvarez to Masimango. Over towards Molina. Molina to Ryderson. Ryderson gives to Echeverse. Tries to send it in towards Beckenbauer, but it's going to be now Molina taking it. Masimango to Shumway. Shumway still bringing it up. Tries to give it inside towards Morales in the blocks. Going to be kicked out there by Alspach.
Yeah, we'll see if this Husson offense can stay patient out there. As you can see a little bit of frustration out on the field as this Delhi defense is just keeping so many players back, and just whenever it gets in around the 18, there's 2 or 3 players on this Husson offense immediately, and I'm sure it's a little bit frustrating for this team that is used to having some space near the top of the 18 to pass it around.
Morales being swarmed there by Morris. Going to take a shot. A nice save there from Walsh. Mora with a great look there. Just an even better save there from Walsh. I mean, with how things have been kind of going in this game, Avery, you know, this could be a game that could possibly go into overtime, or whoever scores first could run away with this thing.
Yeah, if Husson were to score the first goal of this one, they would definitely be able to just kind of keep playing their game and force this Delhi offense to change up their own formation, which could definitely play a little bit of a detriment to their whole team as a whole. And if Delhi were to score this first goal, they could certainly just even pack it in even more than they already are out there.
Right, as that ball's going to be kicked out there. And, I mean, we've only seen one corner kick all game so far, and it was off of Husson. And so that just shows, how prepared both teams are defensively in this game, and it's been giving difficulties for both teams to be able to find the scoring opportunities.
Well, both the previous playoff games that this Delhi team has won were 1-0 victories. That obviously we weren't in attendance for those games down in New York, but I would not be surprised if they ran a very similar formation as to what we're seeing here today and got that early goal and then just hung on to it versus some very tough teams. And SUNY Poly, who had a lot of players on that NAC first team and second team, as well as some of the Player of the Year honorees, and I'm sure they played a very defensive formation back down in Delhi this playoff run they had.
Yeah, and it's also never easy to it's never easy to be able to take down the reigning North Atlantic Conference champions either, especially on their home turf, and to be able to do that. It gives them a lot of, confidence and momentum going into this game of like, okay, if we can take down the reigning NAC champs, we can definitely do this. So it was a very impressive weekend last weekend for SUNY Delhi. The ball will find its way over towards Arias. Arias gets inside the box, tries to give a cross over as Echeverris tries to take a shot, but blocked there by Botex.
Yeah, and just another example there of just this Delhi team having a lot of players back on that defensive side to send that one out. And Redsteiner gets a little bit of a missed touch there and sends it out wide. And we've seen him have a little bit of a missed touches out there on the field, which is something we don't see all that often from him.
As we're going to see a sub in here is Aiden McLaughlin, who checks into the game here for SUNY Delhi. The Broncos been going to lots of subs here so far in this game. Eagles only having used one. Cuellar loses it. And it's going to be a goal kick here for the Eagles as we're now approaching about almost 5 minutes left to play here in the first half.
Yeah, and I think Coach Rootman is trying to keep his team fresh out on the field and get new players in there every few minutes and just make sure his players can run their hearts out here on Championship Saturday.
As Shumway will give a pass over to Mora. Yeah, it's, so far, SUNY Delhi, been going to the subs. With Coach Gavin Penny, he looks to try to use more of his subs in the second half and normally plays his starters for most of the first half. He did use a sub earlier on when Arias checked out of the game. Arias makes a nice pass over, but finds his way over to Botex.
Yeah, if there was a Husson Eagle out on that back post, they could have very easily just tapped that into the back of the net, and that was another excellent ball there from Arias.
Yeah, because it looked like the ball was just going to roll out of play off of him, but he's able to make a nice little pass over, just nobody was there to be able to try to score off of that pass. Morales tries to find Beckenbauer, but ball's going to roll all the way to McLaughlin. Echeverris now bringing it up. The ball finds its way over to Morales. Morales tries to send it in towards the box and will go out of play, and it'll be a goal kick here for SUNY Delhi.
Yeah, Morales was just trying to send that in towards the back post, and maybe if it curled a little bit sooner, it could find its way into the back of the net, and if not, he was trying to find a player out there.
As it's going to be Klowski. Wants to be tipped up in the air. Over towards Hariderson. Hariderson will give it to Arias. Arias to Heriderson. Heriderson look to bring it up the right side. Find his way over to Cruz Vasquez. Molina now. We'll pull it back. Give it over to Rechsteiner. Rechsteiner. Give it over to Molina. Molina on the far side. Over to Echeverse. Taken away there by Botex. And it's going to be a throw-in here for the Broncos. Botex sends it in towards Beckenbauer, over to Echeverse, to Alvarez. Beckenbauer over to Molina. And taken away there by McLaughlin. And I did not see what they happened to call on that, but
I believe that was offsides out there on McLaughlin, and I think he was just a step or two off there, and that was very nearly a chance for him to get in on goal there.
so we're now over to Mossy Mongo as there's about 1.5 left to play here in this first half. Eagles looking to try to score one here to head into halftime. Botex will send it down towards Buzikos. Kicked out there by Rechsteiner. Shumway to Mora. Mora makes a nice move. Still bringing it up. Gives it Heriderson. Kicked out by Botex.
1 minute remaining in the first half.
As there's now 1 minute left to play the first half. Molina to Morales. Morales makes a nice move, tries to find Beckenbauer on the left side. Beckenbauer gives it to Heriderson. Heriderson's going to try a shot. Blocked there by Alspecht. Heriderson trying to still stay with it. Over to Buzikos. Gives it to Molina. Molina. And it goes right off of McLaughlin. Nice play there from Molina. And we'll have to redo the throw-in here. Molina
10, 9,
over to Palomides.
5,
Rechsteiner will get it. Buzikos almost takes it away from him. And that is how the first half will end of this North Atlantic Conference Championship game, as it's going to be a 0-0 tie here heading into halftime. But Avery, it's definitely been an entertaining first half despite, no goals being scored.
Yeah, some really good defensive plays out there, and both teams have had some good opportunities out on the field, and I'm sure we'll see some goals here in the second half.
Yes, as we will be entertained with a exciting second half. Well, we'll take a break at halftime here, but when we come back, we'll get ready for the start of this second half right here of the North Atlantic Conference Championship game between SUNY Delhi Broncos and the Husson Eagles men's soccer team. And we're back here out of halftime as we are right about to get ready for second half action of this North Atlantic Conference Championship game between SUNY Delhi and the Husson University Eagles. I'm Isaac Potter alongside Avery Henningsen as the score still remains scoreless here as SUNY Delhi will start off with the ball here in this second half. But Avery, what were just some thoughts out of that first half from both teams?
I think both teams played an excellent game out there, Isaac, and obviously we saw some pretty serious defensive formation out there for Delhi as they only allowed 8 shots from this Husson team and was definitely keeping a lot of players back on pretty much any play.
It definitely made it difficult for both teams, and we'll see how this one turns out here in the second half as whoever scores the goal could possibly run away with this thing, depending just from how it's been looking so far. Masimango, give it over towards Alvarez. Alvarez tries to find Morales, kicked out there by Botex. Gives over to Rex Steiner. Over to Masimango. Masimango over to Molina. Molina over to Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer tries to find Alvarez. Over to Masimango. Gives it to Shumway. Shumway. Back over to Masimango. He looks to bring it up. Looks to try to find it inside towards the Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer tries to pull back, and he does. Gives it over to Morales. Morales going to try to send one in. And it's going to go out of play, and it'll be a goal kick here for the Broncos.
Yeah, and that was just a little too far from Morales there towards Arias, and I think that very easily could have been a goal over there on that back post.
It definitely had the ability to, but just put a little bit too far over to the right. As we want to take a moment to thank today's game sponsors, Performance PT, designing a healthier you, Greenway Equipment Sales in Ellsworth and Bangor, Nothing Runs Like a Deer, Governor's Restaurant, and Casella, giving resources new life. That's a throw in here for the Broncos. Finds his way over to Masimango, kicked up in the air by Alvarez. That's going to be a throw in here for the Broncos.
Yeah, and we'll see if SUNY Delhi decides to change up their formation at all here in the second half. And we saw it earlier in this game that they're almost running a 6 or 7 back line back there, which is something you don't see all that often out on the field. And they're definitely playing for a low-scoring game here today.
Yeah, definitely. And, obviously, like we saw in their last, 2 games in their playoff race, they won 1-0, and they were able to hold teams scoreless. And right now they've held Husson scoreless as well. And they, are struggling themselves to find some offense here, but they've been really holding Husson to make it difficult on them.
We talked about that, or we talked about it in the first half, that if Husson were to get a goal here, it would force Delhi to change up that formation and get a little bit riskier on offense and give themselves some more opportunities. And if Delhi were to score that goal, it would certainly allow them to just simply keep playing the same formation for the course of the game.
As that one gets kicked out there by Molina. Be a throw in here for SUNY Delhi. Botex will have a throw in. He'll send it in towards Masimango. Over to Morales, gives it to Shumway. Shumway over to Arias, to Alvarez. Alvarez will give it over to Masimango. Over to Beckenbauer on the left side. Etcheverse to Morales, back over to Etcheverse. Etcheverse gives a pass to Mora.
Yeah, it was just a little bit too hard of a pass there, and Mora couldn't quite control it over on that right wing. And Husson offense is definitely had the majority of the possession in this game, and they just haven't managed to quite capitalize yet.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with you on that. I feel like Husson has had possession of this game for most of the game. They just have not been able to do anything offensively thanks to SUNY Delhi's defense. Ball's going to find its way over to Morales, and it's going to be kicked out there by Alspec.
Yeah, and Morales was trying to take a little bit of a touchback towards the middle there, but I think Botex might have gone just a toe on it to send that pretty wide, and that was certainly a good opportunity for this Husson squad.
Yeah, it looked like there's time will stop on the play there as Mora seems to be shaken up there with a little bit of an injury.
Yeah, I saw him kind of doing a few calf stretches out there like a few minutes ago, and I'm not sure if it might just be a cramp or he might have gotten a little bit of something happen out there.
Yeah, and it looks like the trainer's going to go out and check on him, as we are probably going to see number 19, Patricio Regatas, going to check into the game for him.
The Eagles, number 19, Patricio Regatas.
Regatas, who got the start for most of the games this season, also started the past 2 games, but Mora ended up starting today over him. He's a guy that, can be very streaky on the top offensive part. He kind of struggled a little bit, I thought, last weekend, just wasn't able to capitalize on some of his chances. But this can be a great bounce back game for him.
Yeah, he had some really great opportunities out there and just couldn't quite manage to find the back of the net, but we've seen him score those important goals in those important moments before, and I think he's somebody who can come off the bench and just make an impact immediately.
He definitely can make a big impact to a team for sure. And this definitely will be key to having him out there for the second half, being all rested up.
Yeah, and he's a freshman from Mexico City, and he has 3 goals on the season, and he's a really stand-up guy. I know him personally, and he's definitely somebody who can go out there and make those big plays when it's needed.
Shumway gives it to Ryderson. Over to Arias. It's going to be taken away there by Sorrow. Gives it right back over to Husson, though. As Molina give it over to Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer makes a nice little move. Gives it to Regatas. Gives it back over to Masimango. To Beckenbauer. Back over to Masimango. Morales on the left side. Looking to make a move. Going to be taken away there by Botex. Great defensive play from him. Masimango. Bringing it up. Gives it to Ryderson. Ryderson now. Taken away by Alspec, and he'll send it down.
Yeah, Botex was a second-team all-conference player this season, and he's certainly shown it out there today that he's really a mainstay for this Delhi defense.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with the way he's been playing here today, and he's done a lot of good things for this team on the season. Regatas try to give it over to Alvarez, and he does. See here, the Husson coach is telling the players to relax. Gives it over to Shumway. Shumway. Give it to Regatas, over to Echeverse. Echeverse finds Ryderson. Ryderson trying to stay with it, but kicked out once again by the Broncos. Molina. Give it over there to Echeverse. Over to Ryderson. Ryderson back over to Echeverse. To Morales. Morales tries to send it in. Trying to say it was tipped, and it was. And it will be a corner kick here for Husson.
Yeah, I thought it might have been tipped there, Isaac, as that was a little uncharacteristic of a Morales shot there. That was very wide of the goal, and I think it just went off of a Delhi defender's foot there.
Alvarez will take this corner kick. This will be the second one of the game here for the Eagles. Alvarez sends it in towards Molina. Molina heads it, and it just goes over the net again. Another missed opportunity there for the Eagles.
Yeah, and that's the second time that Molina just hasn't been able to get quite over the ball as much as he needed, and that's an unfortunate one for him, and I don't think either of them has been his fault. That both of them, he got excellent headers on the ball in and around players, but just couldn't quite come away with it.
It just kind of was a little bit too up high there for him. It was a good look and just barely missed it, and the score still remains 0-0.
Well, those corner kick plays are ones that this Eagles team can definitely capitalize on, and it allows them to get a lot of players in the box and not really fear a huge counterattack out there from this Delhi team that's also going to have a lot of players out there.
Molina will give it over there to Masimango. Tries to send it in towards Arias. Arias. And it's going to be kicked out there by Sikorsky. And another corner kick now for the Eagles.
Yeah, and they've gotten some more offensive pressure here in this early second half compared to that late first half. And these are, as I said earlier, this is the type of play that they really need to capitalize on.
It's going to come about with 35-33 left to play here in the game. Finds his way over to Ray Gaddis. Ball tipped up there as nobody touched it, and it will go back over to SUNY Delhi.
Yeah, and Regatas got a good head on that, but he was kind of running backwards while he sent that up, and it was almost floated its way into that upper corner.
It looked like, too, Hariderson, I think, was trying to get there, but just was a little bit too far over his head. And it turned out to be a goal kick there for the Broncos. Beckenbauer tries to save it. Over to Regatas. Hariderson with the shot. Kicked out there by Boltex. Morales with the shot himself. And we're going to get a stoppage of play there as it looks like the goalie, Jonathan Walsh, is going to be shaken up there. But some nice defensive stops there from SUNY Delhi.
Yeah, and just some really good offense there from the Eagles, and they had several really good shooting opportunities in and around the box there. And I thought Regatas almost found the back of the net, and then Hariderson almost did it, and it bounced its way out toward Morales, who put a good shot on it, but just another excellent job by this Delhi defense to get a lot of players in front of the net. I think it might have been Regatas who collided with Welch out there, and I'm not really sure what happened.
Yeah, I think it turned out, I believe it was either Beckenbauer or Regatas. I think him and the goalkeeper kind of collided, and they collided with one another, and then happened to turn out to be an injury, and we'll see if he happens to stay in this game or if they'll have to go to their other goalkeepers that they have.
Yeah, and I just heard from in the booth that it sounds like it was actually his own defender who collided with Welch out there, and it's definitely an unfortunate situation for them. And luckily for them, I would assume it's going to be Tucker Garrett who would replace Welch in this game if he were to come out. And he started 10 games for them this season, and is definitely somebody who is a very talented senior goalkeeper out there.
Yeah, and Walsh is also a senior goalkeeper as well from Brewster, New York. And I'm sure they don't really want to lose him, as you know, he's done a lot of good things here so far on the season. They had a great playoff run with him in the nets, as he happens to be on his 2 feet here, which is a good sign to see. We'll see what happens, if he's going to stay in this game here or if there will be a sub that will come in for him.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on what the injury was. Not sure if he just got shaken up out there or if he got hit in the head or what it was.
Yeah, it's looking like it was around the knee area. seems to kind of be limping, and as the clock also did stop at 34:41 left to play here in this second half. As I think the trainer is, I'm not sure if there happened to maybe be blood at all on the play, and it looks like Walsh is going to stay in the game, which is a good thing to see. So,
Yeah, and I'm sure we're going to see him like walking around a little bit out there trying to loosen up. Looks like you said, it looks like some sort of lower body injury as he's limping a little bit, but I think he's going to try to walk this one off out there.
I think probably some of it just has to do with, this is the championship game. I don't really want to go out. I'll play through the injury. It's my senior year. Not sure if he will have eligibility for next year and if he will be back with the team next year. But, this is probably one of those games where he's thinking, like, could be my last game, and I want to go out and do something.
Yeah, I know. When I was a senior, I would have played through a broken leg if it meant staying in the championship game out there. And you see a lot of feats of blanking on the word a little bit, but just some strong fortitude out there for some of these guys who they know this is their last game and they let that adrenaline just push them through anything.
Right, and I mean, Arias too, he was dealing with a finger injury earlier on in this game, and, he's a guy that, is a senior on this squad, and, he probably was in the same boat. He's just like, well, I want to keep playing through this. This is the championship game. So players leaving it all on the line here. Etchevert's going to have a shot. Blocked away there by Walsh. But a great save there from him.
Yeah, it was a really sharp angle, and Welch just managed to get a finger on that one and send it wide, and that almost found its way into the back of the net.
As Alvarez, who's going to take this corner kick here. Alvarez will take the corner kick. He will send it in towards the box. The ball's going to be kicked out there, and it will be still with the Eagles. It'll be a throw in here for them. Morales gives it over to Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer over towards Alvarez to Shumway. Shumway over to Arias. Arias over to Echeverse. Over to Masimango. Molina to Morales. Tries to give it over to Echeverse, but headed out there by Botex. Morales bringing it up still. Looking to get inside the box. We'll go on the far left side. Gets inside, gives it to Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer to Regatas, blocked away there. Hreiderson now, he's going to try a shot. Kicked out there by Alsbeck. Some nice defensive stops there from SUNY Delhi.
Yeah, Husson certainly had some good plays there on the offensive side. And I've seen a little bit of a change in a little bit of Regatas has certainly made a difference out there as they've had some good opportunities here.
Yeah, the Eagles have definitely had some better looks here. Regatas has been right there to make some shots there.
Yeah, and I think that leg is still bothering Welch a little bit on that goalkeeping side of things, as I saw him wince pretty heavily there after that punt, and I think it might be his right knee that he tweaked a little bit on that play. And, well, that's certainly going to be a big story here heading into this later second half, and or potentially, if this score were to hold up, overtime and penalty kicks as well, Isaac.
Yeah, as Masimango handles it here. And, definitely as the ball's going to be sent down towards Arias and will go over his head. But the nice part about it with Walsh and, his knee injury, it's not like he's playing like up as a forward where it could really affect, getting up and down the field. Obviously, you're still going to be moving around a lot, with being a goalie, but, it's a little bit more rest in your knee when, the ball's on the opposite side of the field. So
I think it will really become a key moment on those types of plays where Welch needs to come off his back line and potentially make one of those plays where he runs up the field outside of his own 18 or comes up to clear a ball that if you can't quite run properly, those are the types of plays that can certainly impact you out on the field.
ball finds its way over to SUNY Delhi. Beckenbauer still handling it. Over to Echeverse. Gives it to Morales. Morales will give it to Alvarez. Alvarez gives it to Ryderson. Back to Alvarez. Alvarez with a shot blocked away there by Klodowski. Beckenbauer. Give it over to Ryderson. Ryderson gives it to Arias. Arias tries to save it from going out of play, and he does. Gives it to Alvarez. Alvarez looking to send it inside the box to Morales. Morales tries to give it to Regatas, and picked up there from Welch.
Yeah, and an excellent ball in towards Morales there on that back post, and we'll see if Welch kicks this one or if he's just going to send a throw out there.
Yeah, good heads-up play there by Welch to be able to come out of the net. He knew Morales was going to try to give it to Regatas to have him tap it in. Regatas going to have a chance now. Trying to call for a handball there. No whistle. Ball's going to go out of play, and it will be a corner kick here for the Eagles. Morales will take it himself.
Yeah, and that was a close one, Isaac. As it looked like to me that almost could have been called a handball there. As I believe that was Botex out there who had his hands up while he was running and just kind of, I think it must have just barely missed his hand out there.
It's going to be a ball sent to Echeverse. Echeverse still inside the box. He'll give it over to Morales. Morales gets around. Gives a pass towards Hryderson. Hryderson trying to get a shot off. Gives it to Shumway. Shumway with a shot. It just goes behind the net. And another missed opportunity there for the Eagles.
Yeah, I think that was just a foot or two inside of that front post, or that back post, pardon me, that Shumway very nearly found the back of the net there. And a lot of these shooting opportunities here for the Eagles have come from those two center backs that we talked about earlier as being really the mainstays of this team, that they're players who can do stuff offensively and defensively, and they're definitely people to watch out for.
Definitely to keep a watch out for. As the Eagles, you could definitely tell, have been getting a lot more scoring looks here in this second half, but just have not been able to find one in the back of the net. Ball will find its way over to Molina. Molina over to Echeverse. Back to Morales. Morales still handling it. Gonna try to send one down into the box. Kicked out there by Botex. So that one will go out of play.
And I think this Husson offense is wearing on Delhi a little bit right now, that they've had a lot of possession in and around the Delhi box, and I think it's something that it's starting to tire out this defense a little bit. That obviously they're playing with a lot of players back there, and it allows them to pick each other up, but at the same time it's hard having those types of plays where you just don't really have possession of the ball and you can't play it up away from yourself. That you're really on your heels most of the time. I know they talk about it in football a lot, that offensive linemen love to run block because they're going forward instead of going backwards. And when you're playing this side of defense where you're trying to keep the ball in front of you, you do actually quite a bit of running out there as you try to keep the ball in front of you.
Ryderson now. Give it over to Arias. Buzikos just checked into the game for SUNY Delhi for Williams Jr.
Yeah, and that's something we saw in the first half, that they just like to keep those offensive players in and out of the game and make sure they're fresh out there and can run a lot up top and potentially open the game up for them with those counter-attacking opportunities.
Ball is going to be taken away there by Ryderson, and Regatas is going to chase it down. Regatas gives it to Alvarez. Over to Shumway. Shumway to Molina. Molina over to Masimango. Looks to send it down towards Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer saves it from going out of play. Gives it to Echeverse. Over to Molina. Back over to Masimango.
Yeah, and if that ball from Beckenbauer had found its way over Alpatch's head, I think Regatas was there and could have potentially made a play on goal.
Ball will find its way over down towards Palamides. Ball's going to roll all the way to Rechsteiner, and he will roll it over to Masimango. Getting close to about 24 minutes left to play here in the second half. Still scoreless in the NAC championship game. Morales gets tripped up there by Cruz Vasquez, and Echeverse is let Alvarez take this kick here. Definitely could be a chance here for the Eagles.
Yeah, and you saw Morales working against probably 3 or 4 defenders out there, and he managed to keep the ball at his feet for a while, but just couldn't quite get all the way through there, and he wound up getting the foul called. And this is certainly a good shooting opportunity for Alvarez.
Alvarez tries to find Molina, but couldn't get it to him, and will go out of play. As we're going to see another sub checking in, it's Aiden McLaughlin. Check in for number 4, Luke Palamides. It's going to be a goal kick here for Andrew Alsbeck. Alsbeck is a defenseman freshman on this team. Looking at the roster, I don't see a junior on this team. They do have a few seniors, so they're SUNY Delhi is definitely a young team that's going to be keep an eye out for the next few years.
Yeah, they have 16 freshmen on this squad and another 5 sophomores, and I believe they have a couple juniors and 4 seniors, but like you said, it's definitely a very young team that can be a contender for years to come.
Definitely will be something to keep an eye out for. Alvarez with a nice pass towards Regatas. Regatas going to have a chance here. Takes the shot, blocked by Walsh. He gets it back, tries to take another shot, and kicked out there by the Broncos. What a play there by Walsh.
Yeah, and Regatas was one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and that's something we talked a little bit right when he came into this game, that he just hasn't managed to quite capitalize on those scoring opportunities here over the last few games, and that's definitely one he's going to want to have back, as he was in a 1v1 with the goalkeeper there, and all he needed to do was pick a corner and slot it home.
Yeah, what a play from him. And obviously, about 10 minutes ago, he was dealing with a knee injury, and he's made a lot of nice stops here, including that one that could make a big difference. Alvarez with the shots, just goes over the net. As you hear the Husson coaches and players telling each other to keep it going. Still like the offensive attack here, just have not been able to capitalize. Alsbeck will take this kick.
Yeah, we've been seeing this Husson team just get a lot of opportunities here in the second half, and obviously, like we said, they haven't managed to capitalize, and it's something we've seen all season from this team, that seems every game they have 20 or 30 shots, with a lot of those being on goal, and they just can't quite find the back of the net. And this is the moment when it matters, and I'm sure we'll see them try to change that here today.
Traverse with some nice moves there. Tried to find someone inside the box when nobody was there. This again will be another goal kick here for SUNY Delhi. As we're just now about 20 minutes left to play here in the second half. Just a reminder that after this game at 2 o'clock, it's going to be the same two teams, but facing off against each other in the women's side. As should be a very entertaining game there. Hariderson gives it over to Regates. Welsh comes out of the nets and makes another nice save once again. It's about a very impressive second half.
Yeah, and I highlighted that as something that could potentially be an issue with that slightly beaten up lower leg, and he's certainly shown that even with that injury that's nagging him a little bit still, he can step it up when his team needs him and make those big plays.
Definitely. As Morales tries to head it over. Out there, it'll be Botex with the throw-in. Over to Masimango. Alvarez kicks it up in the air. Be kicked up by Sikorsky. Alvarez. Give it over to Hariderson. Hariderson. Look to give it over. Morales. Gives it over to Beckenbauer. It's going to be kicked out there.
Just a really heads-up play there from Beckenbauer. He was getting a little bit locked down on the end line and just managed to kick that off of the defender's foot and out for a corner kick.
As Florian Gasser is going to check into the game now. It'll be a corner kick here.
And I'm going to guess it's Morales who came off there over on that right side to bring Gasser into this game.
Yep, it's going to be Gasser who's going to take this kick himself. Gasser. Take the kick. Try to send it in towards Molina, and we'll go out of play.
And another excellent corner kick from this Husson squad, who's had some really good ones here today, Isaac. And I could see a corner kick being the difference here in this game.
Definitely could be.
And Gasser's somebody that we talked about in that semifinals game last Sunday, that he's a very talented player for this Husson squad that missed some of the middle part of the season with an injury and has come back strong here when they need him in the playoffs. And he's definitely a good player to come in off the bench and make some plays out there.
We'll find his way over to Cuellar. Cuellar tries to give it to Buzikos. And Botex takes it away now. A chance here for SUNY Delhi. A cross here from Botex. Be kicked out there off of the Eagles, and SUNY Delhi is going to have their first corner kick of the game.
Yeah, and Botex came shrieking in there and knocked that one forward and made a really nice run up towards the top. And this is their first corner kick, and I would imagine they're going to send some players forward to try to get this goal here with about 15 minutes left and then hold on to it.
This could be a really big opportunity here as clock stops real quick. The referee going to talk over to Gasser and McLaughlin.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a collision there on that run forward, and I'm not sure if it carried over into this corner kick. That a lot of corner kick plays can lead to there's a lot of fouls that happen on corner kicks that don't get called, and they can definitely be a situation where you see a lot of pushing and shoving out there.
It's It's going to be Cuellar. Give it over to Williams Jr. And it looked like there, Sorrow fell. Still stays with it. Echeverse over to Alvarez, and here he goes. Alvarez pulls it back. Gives it Echeverse. Echeverse. Send it down for Alvarez. Alvarez trying to send it down the field, but will go out of play, giving it back over to the Broncos.
And an excellent job from the Husson defense to close that corner kick play down, as I think it was Sorrow who slipped a little bit at the top of the 18 and then managed to keep the ball at his feet, but Echeverse and Gasser came in to send that one clear.
Shumway now bringing it up. 15 minutes left to play now in this second half. Both teams still scoreless. We'll see if someone will be able to score here at the end of regulation, or if we will possibly see some overtime action in the NAC championship game. Mossy Mongo over to Shumway. Shumway gives it to Ray Gades. Over to Hariderson. Hariderson handling it on the far right side. And it's going to go off of Hariderson and be given right back over to the Broncos.
Yeah, and for those who aren't quite aware of the rules, that this game were to go into overtime, we'd have 2 10-minute overtime halves that even if there were to be a goal that were scored within the first minute of the first half of that, you would play to the end of it and play all the way through those first 20 minutes. And if it were to stay tied all the way through that, we would then head to a very exciting PK shootout.
Right, and that was something that we saw last weekend between Thomas College and UMaine Farmington, as Thomas College coming away with 5-3 victory in penalty kicks. That was a very exciting game, and this one has the potential to possibly go into overtime. As ball finds its way over to Molina. Molina has it taken away by McLaughlin. Beckenbauer. And it's going to be a trip there from Botex, and he is going to get a yellow card for that. And that'll be the first one that's awarded in this game. The clock stops at 13:09. That card went to number 6, Vaughn Botex, a freshman defenseman from West Babylon, New York.
Yeah, Beckenbauer was trying to make a nice little move around Botex there, who just clipped him with his leg and brought Beckenbauer down, and it's a pretty easy call there from the head referee.
Shumway gives it to Molina. Molina looks to send it in towards the box. Arias trying to save it, but it will go over his head. Giving it right back over towards the Broncos. As it's going to be Eric Kulowski taking this kick here. He will send it over to the far left side, over down towards Monta, and Monta will head it out of play.
Yeah, and that was a thundering kick there from Klutchkowski, who I think we joked about it a little bit in the pregame that should change his career and become an NFL kicker, and Klutchkowski would certainly be a name that would get brought around the league very fast if he were to make that decision choice. I think it's a little bit too late now, but
I mean, if he wanted to, I mean, you never know. That would definitely be a cool name for sure, though. And as ball finds its way down to Shumway, Hariderson now comes away with it. And he's looking to bring it up the right side. Goes out of play, goes off of Hariderson, give it back over to SUNY Delhi. Still can't get over how nice of a day it is today. It's beautiful weather for this championship game.
And this isn't weather you often see in November. Of course, it's only pretty early here, and it's some nice weather here in Maine as it's only November 5th, but it's still, you're used to, in Maine, we've had snow on Halloween before, and usually around this time of year, it's gotten quite a bit chillier out there, and it's definitely been a warm fall so far, and I'm a little bit worried about this winter to come, that we're going to have some retribution for this warm fall, but I think it's, for these guys out here, they don't really care. They like this warm weather, and it's definitely some perfect soccer weather.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely just so used to around this time, it's, windy and chilly. Some people are even possibly even wearing their winter jackets during this time, but it's been beautiful weather out where it just feels like a early fall day, and definitely is beautiful weather for some championship soccer today. The ball's going to be kicked out there. We'll still remain with SUNY Delhi as we're just now getting close to 10 minutes to play in this game. We'll still remain with the Broncos here. Sorrow will let Williams Jr. just take this throw in instead.
Yeah, and I think he'll be trying to play this one in towards the box.
Williams takes a running start, looks to send it towards the box. And ball will find its way over to Kolowski. And it's going to be a throw in here for the Eagles, and we are going to see a sub. And number 31, Will Feldman, will check into the game for the Eagles for Carlos Echevers.
Yeah, Echevers has been running for a lot of this game, and he's been out there for almost 80 minutes. And I think Coach Penny knows that this Delhi team's playing for the tie a little bit right now in this regular time, and he's trying to give some of those midfielders who could play a key role in overtime, or a potential overtime, a little bit of a breather here with about 10 minutes left.
So Ryderson will lose it and give it right back to the Broncos, and we'll see Kevin Sikorsky checking into the game for number 7, Aiden McLaughlin. 8:40 left to play now in this game. Make a throw over there towards Alspec. Kick it down to Sikorsky. Or the Beckenbauer. Feldman staying with it. Beckenbauer takes it away. Beckenbauer tries to give it to Feldman. Ball will find its way over on the left side. And taken away there by Arias, and there will be a foul called on Halunka. And he will be awarded a yellow card.
Yeah, he tugged at Arias' jersey a little bit there and spun him around, and can't impede a player's right to the ball, and that's something he did right there.
Yep, and I think it was probably one of those little frustration kind of things where he lost the ball and then stopped the break. Kind of just grabbed onto his jersey and can't really do that, as that will be a yellow card.
Yeah, and that's one of those fouls that you get taught to do a little bit as a defender, that if you've gotten beat and the guy's in on goal, you would rather take that yellow card than allow a potential goal here with only 8 minutes left. And I think that might have been a little bit of an intentional foul out there. That you see that in basketball sometimes, that rather than letting a team dribble the clock out, you take that intentional foul and make them score on you.
Alvarez will give it to Gasser. Gasser, as that one's taken away there. Williams Jr. trying to chase it down, but Molina will kick it out. Arias with a nice little pass towards Ryderson, but will go out of play.
And the Eagles are going to want to be careful here, Isaac, that there's only 7 minutes left to play, and these teams that play a counter-attack type formation can really in those final 5 minutes, like, change it up a little bit and try to get a little bit off offensive pressure and score with very little time left. And I would not be surprised if we see that here today.
Definitely could, as Masimango gives it to Shumway. Shumway to Haraderson, back over to Shumway.
And this Eagles defense has been lulled to sleep a little bit. Obviously, they're still playing very talented out there, but when you're not really being threatened all that much, you can sometimes get a little bit lax out there, and that's something they don't want to have happen here with only 6:50 left.
So that was Feldman who took a shot there, and it was picked up by Walsh.
Yeah, that would have certainly been quite a story if freshman Will Feldman were to come in off the bench and make that super sub type play and score after only being on the field for a few minutes.
As Regatas stays with it, gives it to Feldman. Feldman looks to send it in. Walsh will kick it up and pick it up. As now there's under 6 to play now. I think you were kind of right, Avery. I think it's kind of looking like SUNY Delhi is trying to hang on here, trying to get it to overtime. Husson obviously wants to try to end things here to avoid the overtime. Beckenbauer gives it to Gasser, back over to Beckenbauer. Gives it to Haraderson. Haraderson to Regatas, kicked out there by Halunka. And a throw in here for Arias. Arias with the throw in towards Regatas, back to Arias, gives it to Haraderson. Haraderson gets tripped up, no whistle. Be kicked out, be another throw in here for the Eagles.
Yeah, and I couldn't quite tell there, but that looked like that might have been just inside the box, and if that foul had been called, that could have been a potentially game-winning penalty kick opportunity there for the Eagles.
As Cruz Vasquez kicks it out, still with the as the referee going over to talk this one out. As the ball will still remain with the Eagles here. Arias look to make a throw in here. Arias to Haraderson. Haraderson to Alvarez, to Masimango. Gives it to Molina. Molina. Could be headed out there by Sorrow. Taken away there by SUNY Delhi. Here's Williams Jr. trying to chase it down, and he does. Looking to try to take a shot. Rechsteiner with the save. It'll go out of play, but will be a corner kick for the Broncos.
And that right there is why Rechsteiner was the player of this, or the first team goalkeeper for this NAC conference, and that very nearly was that goal that could have decided this game.
It's a big chance here for the Broncos as we're just about 3.5 left to play here in this game. Sorrow's going to take this corner kick for the Broncos. He will send it in. Find his way over, and it will go out of play, and Eagles getting a stop there, and it'll be a goal kick for Rechsteiner. Rechsteiner will give it over to Shumway. Over to Alvarez. Alvarez to Haraderson. Haraderson gives it over to Alvarez. Alvarez to Molina. Molina bringing it up. Gives it to Feldman. Feldman pulls it back to Beckenbauer. Beckenbauer over to Masimango. Gives it to Haraderson, back to Masimango. To Alvarez. Alvarez to Masimango again. Give it to Feldman. Feldman staying with it. Gives it to Haraderson. Haraderson looking to make a move. He'll pull it back to Alvarez. Alvarez to Molina. Molina tries to give it over towards Feldman. And a foul's going to be called there on Molina as he trips over Cuellar. Now 2 minutes left to play here in this game. As it's going to be Alsbeck who's going to take this kick here for the Broncos. Alsbeck will send it out of play, be a throw in for the Eagles. Beckenbauer with the throw. Over to Feldman, over to Beckenbauer. Gives it to Gasser. Gasser now. Over to Heriderson, back to Gasser. Gasser trying to send it down towards Arias. Walsh will let it go out of play.
Yeah, and there's not much time left in this second half, but I think the Eagles would have rather just slowed that down a little bit and let their offense move up the field with them and get that shooting opportunity with your full force up there.
Now there's 1 minute left to play here in regulation. We'll see if someone will score in this last minute or if we will see overtime here in this championship game. Shumway. Ball goes out of play, be kicked out. Arias is going to quickly get it in. Gives it to Heriderson. 35 seconds left. Over to Shumway, to Molina. Molina bringing it up. Molina will send it towards Arias, to Heriderson. Heriderson. 17 seconds left now. Over to Molina. Molina trying to find Alvarez. Alvarez going to try to take a shot. 8 seconds left. Walsh just going to hang on to it. And that is how regulation will end. And Avery, we are going to see some overtime action in North Atlantic Conference Championship game.
Yeah, we certainly are, Isaac, and that was some good defense out there by both these teams, and Husson definitely dominated offensively here in this game, and they just couldn't quite manage to capitalize, but SUNY Delhi definitely had those late opportunities as well.
Absolutely, and well, we're going to take a quick little break here as both teams are going to get ready for overtime action, but don't go anywhere, folks, as we have North Atlantic Conference Championship overtime action coming up soon right here. Welcome back to Boucher Field, everyone, as we have overtime here in the North Atlantic Conference Championship game between SUNY Delhi and the Husson University Eagles. I'm Isaac Potter along Avery Henningsen. Avery, this has just been an amazing game so far, and I'm really excited to see how this one turns out.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better NAC championship here today.
And kind of like what Avery mentioned a little bit earlier before regulation ended. So what's going to happen is there's going to be 2 10-minute overtime periods here. And no matter who scores the goal, they're still going to be playing throughout the whole 20 minutes of the 2 overtime periods. And then if the score still remains tied at the end of overtime, they will go into penalty kicks, and that will decide who will come away with the North Atlantic Conference Championship. And it's going to be the Eagles who are going to start off with the ball here to start off in overtime. And this is going to be Arnie Haraderson. We want to take a moment to thank today's game sponsors, Performance PT, designing a healthier you, Greenway Equipment Sales in Ellsworth and Bangor, Nothing Runs Like a Deer, Governor's Restaurant, and Casella, giving resources new life. As Shumway will give it to Molina. Molina over to Feldman. Over to Beckenbauer.
And those first 90 minutes, Isaac, we talked about a little bit that Husson definitely dominated possession, as well as those offensive opportunities with 23 shots to 3, as well as, but out of those 23, only 6 of those wound up being on target, and there's 3 or 4 of those other shots that weren't on target that were just over the top of the crossbar or just wide of the goal, and Husson certainly had the better of the shooting opportunities.
As it's going to be a corner kick here for the Eagles. As Arias tried to make a cross and went off the Broncos defender, and it's going to be Alvarez taking this corner kick. Alvarez getting ready to line up. Looks to send it inside the box. Beckenbauer, Feldman actually with the kick there. Molina tries to head it in. Ball still inside the box. Haraderson's trying to stay with it. As that play goes off of Haraderson. It'll be a goal kick here for SUNY Delhi.
I think they actually called Haraderson for a high kick there. His foot was very close to that Delhi defender's face, and that's a pretty easy call from the head referee there.
Yeah, it looked like Haraderson was trying to save it there, and it did kind of, I think, go off of the Broncos player, but just was a dangerous kick there. And Arias now handles it here for the Eagles. Gasser gets tripped up there by Soro.
Yeah, and something else to watch out for here in overtime, Isaac, is that for Delhi, Vaughn Botek's number 6, number 20 Justin Halunka, and number 25 Eric Monta all received yellow cards in that first 90 minutes of play. And if they were to receive a second one out here today, it would certainly make a huge difference out on the field to miss any one of those players for overtime and or penalty kicks. That those are some of this Delhi's team's best players, and that's something we're going to have to watch out for.
Yeah, it's definitely something we got to keep an eye out for as Halunka loses it on that play. I think the one play that really stuck out to me in that regulation was Regatas. He had that breakaway there all by himself, and Walsh just making a great stop. And here we are in overtime because probably that stop really did it there for the Broncos to be able to force that overtime.
And on the other side of the ball, we saw a really great stop from Rechsteiner on the Michael Williams breakaway with only about a few minutes left to play. That I'm sure that was one that definitely got this Husson team's hearts in their chests.
Molina with a shot. And that's going to go over towards the Husson softball field. And it's going to be a kick here for the Broncos.
Yeah, and Molina has a thundering kick out there for this Husson squad, and you just can't always manage to get that power under control sometimes.
It's the kick here by Kolowski. Masimango will head it up in the air. Masimango gives it over to Feldman. Be kicked down there by Cuellar. Beckenbauer comes away with it now. Still bringing it up. Beckenbauer gives it over to Feldman. Feldman will give it over to Gasser. Gasser trying to stay with it, and he does. Echeverez pulls it back. Looks to send it in. Sends it into net, and he scores! Will Feldman comes off the bench, and he scores the first goal of the game.
And we talked about that in the first half, Isaac, that Feldman could certainly be the super sub for this Husson team and come out and score that goal when it is needed for them. And he is certainly going to be held high by his teammates right now.
Yes, and that scores the first goal of the game there. We'll try to take a look here on the replay. I believe it went off of Walsh. He took the kick there. Was able to find the back of the net. And the Eagles score first in this game. So that goal comes with 5:14 left to play here in this first overtime. Now remember, they still have to play out the rest of the overtime periods. And then there also will be another 10 minutes overtime period as well. So there's still lots of time for SUNY Delhi to be able to do something.
Yeah, and you saw him, that ball just found its way to Feldman over there on that right backside, and then he just saw his opportunity and took it and found its way right into that upper 18.
As Cuellar is going to take it here. Cuellar will give it over, and we'll see if SUNY Delhi will switch it up here. Rechsteiner having to pick that one up, as there's 5 minutes left to play here in this first overtime. As the ball will find its way over to Sorrow. Arias. Over to Feldman. Feldman stays with it now. Hreiderson looks to keep it in play. Ball will go out of play, be a throw in here for SUNY Delhi.
Yeah, and you can see Delhi already. They've switched it up a little bit here after that goal, and they've changed to a little bit more of an offensive style out there. And we'll see if Husson can exploit that a little bit and potentially get that second goal that could all but put this one away.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, too, if we'll see a different approach now from both of these teams. Obviously, SUNY Delhi is going to have to switch up their offensive approach now and kind of ease off the defense, but we'll see if Husson will try to push it to a 2-goal lead, or if they will try to just play defense the rest of the game and try to hang on to this win.
And you can see there that number 17, Domingo Infante, just entered the game, and this is something we've seen before from this Eagles squad, to switch to a little bit more of a defensive formation with almost two center defensive midfielders that mark those guys in the middle and allow Shumway and Molina to move around back there.
Sorrow will try to send it down. McLaughlin taking it in. And it will be a throw in here for the Eagles. As And the referee stops the clock there as referee tells the Husson bench players to stop arguing with the refs. Play will continue on. Alvarez will send it down towards Gasser. 3 minutes left to play here in this first overtime period here. And looks like we're going to get a yellow card there, and that's going to be awarded to number 30, Florian Gasser. And it will be a kick here for Ausbeck. Ausbeck will have the kick. Ausbeck will give it over there to Botex. Has to give it over to Beckenbauer. Masimango takes it away, gives it to Ryderson, over to Feldman, who scored the goal here in this overtime period.
Yeah, and that's definitely a huge goal for him. He came off the bench late in that second half, and some of you didn't play a lot at the start of the season, and that's only his second career goal, and what a moment for it to come.
Yeah, definitely what a moment for sure for that goal to come, as the Eagles all games struggled offensively, as Buzikos gets tripped up there by Masimango.
Yeah, and looked like Gerard clipped him a little bit there, but Bozikos went down very easily, and he's going to give his team a really good free kick opportunity here right at the top of the 18.
It'd be a good chance here for the Broncos as Ausbeck's going to take this kick here. Obviously, like we mentioned, there's still lots of time to be played here. We're still going to have to play another 10-minute overtime period. Ausbeck going to take this kick. Just goes over the net. There's a good look there from him and just a little bit too far over.
Yeah, they faked taking that shot there from, I believe it was Halunka, who ran right over the top of the ball, and then Ausbeck put a shot there that almost found its way into that upper corner, and it was certainly a close one that would have really rejuvenated this team.
So Rex Steiner will send it down the fields. There's now less than 1 minute to play here in this first overtime period. Cuellar trying to bring it up. Kicked up in the air by Infante. And Molina tries to take it away, and McLaughlin will kick it out as the clock will stop. As we could see a delay of game warning there on Molina. And he gets awarded a yellow card. I get what he was trying to do there. He was trying to kick the ball and let more time off the clock, but it was kind of a little bit more after the fact of when the ball was out of play. So,
yeah, any point during the game, but especially during an overtime situation, the head referee will just not allow you to kick one out of play and not just make the sportsmanship type play and send it back to that defense or to the opposing team. And I think that was a pretty easy call there from the head referee.
As Molina will let some more time off the clock here. Rex Steiner's going to take it himself. 10 seconds left to play in this first overtime. This ball will roll out of play. And that is how the first overtime period will end. And it's the Eagles who ended up scoring first there, Avery, as we'll head into 10 more minutes left to play in this overtime.
Yeah, and that goal came at just the perfect moment for them, as they're going to pull ahead in this one and have all the momentum moving forward into the second half of overtime.
Well, still 10 minutes left to play. we'll see what happens. We'll take a quick break in between, but stay tuned as we'll have 10 more minutes left to play of overtime here in the North Atlantic Conference Championship game.
Choosing a school is really difficult, but I have never felt like I should have gone somewhere else.
The thing I like about the school, the class sizes are smaller.
Making friends is easier here because of the fact that you are such a tight-knit community.
I was shooting around a basketball. That's how I met my first friend.
You meet a lot of new people from different areas of the world.
I feel like I've grown so much here.
And there's so many amazing people that work here to learn from.
I definitely made the right decision coming to Husson.
Husson makes it a priority of theirs to make sure each of their students are well-rounded and that we're prepared to go into the future.
It's very rare to have a college that can emphasize the professor-student interaction, and Husson hits it right on the head.
Instead of just, sitting in the classroom, it's a great way to get hands-on experience. I'm actually out here doing things and seeing how things work.
After being here and meeting the people, I decided this is where I wanted to be, that there was no better option for me.
Welcome back, everyone, to Boucher Field, as we'll have 10 more minutes left to play of this overtime. Husson leading 1-0 thanks to a goal from Will Feldman, who ended up scoring first in that overtime and the first goal of the game. And Avery, like you mentioned, that was his second career collegiate goal. What a big and better way to, get that second goal on the season.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a bigger opportunity to get that second goal than in the championship game when your team needs you.
Now, Avery, for both sides, what are they going to have to do if they want to be able to pull out the win here today?
Well, really, the formations have almost flip-flopped out there, Isaac, as I'm sure Husson's going to play a much more defensive formation and try to just prevent goals from happening and prevent those shooting opportunities out there. And for Husson, obviously they're still going to try to get more goals, but they're really just trying to run this clock down right now.
As we saw, Oscar Bernstein also just checked into the game here. We'll see how SUNY Delhi responds here. There's still lots of time left to be played here in this game, as the referee telling the SUNY Delhi player to come over. Clock stops at 9:23. Obviously, with the season on the line here, a championship on the line, the pressure and the intensity is up right now for both of these teams, and you can see how badly both of them want to win.
Yeah, emotions are a little bit high out there right now, Isaac, and I'm sure that's something that's making a little bit of an impact here late.
Ball will find its way over to Cruz Vasquez. Find its way over to Beckenbauer, and he'll kick it up in the air. Definitely seems like Husson is definitely going to more of a defensive approach here. Just doing anything to really take time off the clock. Obviously, I'm sure if they were wanting to try to get a chance to score another goal, they will, but they just want to try to get in more of a defensive approach here. As Molina will take this kick here.
Yeah, and this is something we saw at the end of that Thomas game where they're only up one goal and they really switched to a much more run out the clock type formation out there, and it worked well for them as they were able to do it. And come away with that victory, and I think they're going to try to do that here.
And we'll see what happens in these last few minutes of this season for both of these teams looking to advance to the Division III tournament, as there'll be a foul called, and we'll be going back over to SUNY Delhi. Williams Jr. heads it up in the air over to Molina. Botex will lose it, and it will go out of play. Be a throw in here for the Eagles. Burnson, and it's going to be a foul there on Burnson. And it's going to be a kick here for SUNY Delhi. Alsbeck looks to send it down towards Arias. Be headed out of play. Be a throw in here for the Broncos.
Yeah, and they're being much more offensive here with not much time left in this game. And we've barely seen this here today, that having them have a lot of players up on offense and allowing Heriderson to have a little bit of an opportunity here.
Heriderson gets around, looking to find some space to get a shot off, as he will continue to let clock run down. Gives it to Feldman. Feldman gonna try a shot. Just goes over the net. Giving back over to SUNY Delhi.
You know what would be even better than scoring your second goal in the NAC championship game is if you got that third goal in the NAC championship game, and Feldman very nearly made just a huge impact out there.
Arias looked to be a little shaken up there on the play, as he's going to be helped off the field, and Chamberlain's going to check in. As he hobbles off the field, we'll see if he happens to check back into the game here. 6:30 left to play here in this overtime period. Eagles looking to hang on to the victory. SUNY Delhi looking to tie things up to send it to penalty kicks. Molina will take this kick here. He'll send it down the field towards Botex. Kick it up. Burnson's going to get free of it. Gives it to Feldman. Feldman to Heriderson. Heriderson back over to Feldman. Gives it to Heriderson. Heriderson bringing it inside. Gets tripped. No whistle. Buzikos coming away with it now. And we're going to get a yellow card here. And it's going to be awarded there to Infante. The clock stops. I was definitely surprised they called it on a yellow card there. It just looked like kind of both players were just kind of fighting to get to the loose ball.
Yeah, I think the head referee's just trying to control this game a little bit, and emotions are at the highest in the playoffs, and you obviously don't want this game to funnel down into something extracurricular near the end of it, and I think that's what he's just trying to do here today. But like you said, he's certainly given out, he's used his cards to about the maximum here today, and I'm sure it's going to be a full stat sheet for others in the booth on that yellow card list.
Shumway takes it away. Give it to Heriderson. Heriderson tries to send it down towards Shumway. Will go out of play. Be a throw in here for the Eagles, and they'll slowly walk over. Burnson will send it out of play, as now we're getting close to about 5 minutes left to play here. Be a foul called. Infante kicks it up in the air. Clock stops. This ball will come in. And then as it's going to be number 24, Andrew Ausbeck is going to take this kick here. 4:55 left to play. Ausbeck waiting to line up. Ausbeck will take this kick. Send it down the field. Shumway kicks it up. This ball's going to find its way over to Williams Jr. Go out of play. Another throw in here for the Broncos. Williams Jr. with the throw in. Headed out there by Infante. Finds his way back over to Williams Jr. Shumway's going to head it out. Over to Cruz Vasquez. The Votex. And kicked down the field by Beckenbauer. Walsh will let it roll all the way to him. So he's going to come way out of the net for this one. Molina will do a little bicycle kick up in the air. Finds way over to Burnson. Burnson looking to stay with it. Walsh is going to come way out of the net for it. So he'll boot it down towards Gasser. Mosimango will kick it right back down. Over to Walsh. Walsh. Williams Jr. still staying with it. Gives a pass over there to Sorrow. Sorrow trying to send it inside the box. It's going to go over the net. Will go out of play and a goal kick here for the Eagles. Rechsteiner going to kick it. There's now 3:10 left to play here in this overtime period. Rechsteiner. Masimango. Masimango will send it down towards Heriderson. Heriderson trying to get free there. Going to be kicked out there by Ausbeck. Cuellar. Buzico's trying to get a hold of it, and Molina will send it down. Walsh will bring it up. Give it over there to Kolowski. Buzikos try to get to it. Headed out there by Shumway. Alunka will take the throw in here.
I think they're going to have Botex, who's got a big throw in him, come in, take this one, and try to send it in towards that back post.
As Burnson will send it down the fields. Alunka, give it over there towards Ausbeck. Ausbeck trying to send it in towards the box. And it's going to be I think they did call a foul there.
Yeah, I think they got him for offsides there. You saw a lot of that back line hold up one hand, and the sideline referee agreed with him there.
So Rechsteiner now will take it. About 1:40 left to play here in this overtime period. Rechsteiner will send it down towards Heriderson. Infante heads it up. Buzikos trying to rush to it. Buzikos is going to have a shot and goes off of Rechsteiner. And he makes the save. Wow. What a play there by Rechsteiner.
Yeah, and that's the second time in this game that we've seen Rechsteiner come in and make that clutch play to keep the ball out of his net and show again why he was the first team all-conference player.
As the ball goes out of play, as now there's less than 1 minute to play. Ball goes out of play, be a throw in here for the Eagles. As the Eagles will slowly walk towards this throw in here. Chamberlain try to send it down towards Heriderson, and another throw in here for the Eagles. 30 seconds left. Chamberlain will get the ball back. The clock stops. They will keep going now. Hryderson staying with it here. Ball goes out again, going right back to the Eagles. About 10. As 10 seconds now. As the Eagles fans and players and coaches can smell it. And the Husson Eagles are your North Atlantic Conference champions. As the players storm the fields, lots of excitement. And Avery, the Eagles come away with the North Atlantic Conference championship right here on their home fields.
Yeah, and they played their hearts out all season, Isaac, and so did the SUNY Delhi Broncos team. And both these teams deserve to be here today, and Husson came away with the victory.
Yes, what a exciting game this was, Avery. Going into overtime here, Will Feldman scoring that go-ahead goal in that first overtime periods. And that ended up being the deciding factor here in overtime as the Eagles hang on to a 1-0 victory over SUNY Delhi. And obviously you see the disappointment in the SUNY Delhi players. So you see lots of players going over to hug one another. There's nothing to hang your head about, though. If you're the Broncos, you had absolutely a phenomenal season. Had a great playoff run, holding the team scoreless in the NAC West playoffs. Took a really good Husson team to overtime. And the Eagles coming away with the North Atlantic Conference championship.
Yeah, they certainly played their hearts out here today, Isaac, and they showed why they got to this situation when they did. And these two teams certainly left it all out on the field here.
As you see some good sportsmanship by number 19, Patricio Regatas, and Coach Gavin Penny going over to console the SUNY Delhi players to congratulate them on an amazing season that they had. It's a great run for them to make it that far. As the Eagles players out on the field celebrating, some of the fans coming in to congratulate some of the players on this accomplishment. It's during halftime of the football game right beside us, and lots of the players and the fans came over to kind of watch this one before going back over to watch the rest of the Husson football game.
And you can see the whole women's soccer team's up here to support them as well for Husson, and it's certainly just a community event out there right now.
Right, and we obviously see the trophy over there at midfield. As look to see if we'll have some awards here. As also, like we kind of mentioned, the women's team will also be facing off against one another in this next game, as it's both the teams from the same school, SUNY Delhi and the Husson women, playing in this next game here. This will be another very entertaining game as well. But this definitely has to feel good for the Husson men's. Obviously, we remember what happened last year with them losing in the NAC East semifinal right here on their home turf to UMaine Farmington. Were able to redeem themselves to be able to make it back, win the NAC East final, and winning the NAC championship right here on their home turf. As we are right about to get ready soon here with some of the awards and presentations here. But Avery, any final thoughts on what you saw from this game here today?
I mean, obviously, Husson just dominated possession for the entirety of this game, and they really, maybe other than that final 10 minutes or so after that goal, but at that point they had changed up their formation, and they really showed why they had gotten to this situation and given themselves that opportunity. And I think somebody who should get some congratulation is Alex Retzsteiner, who didn't get that many opportunities, but when he did, he came through for this Husson team and made those big plays when they really needed him.
Yeah, that one play per instance that is probably going to forever, going to be remembered in this game. Alex Retzsteiner making probably arguably the play of the game there with about a minute left in that overtime. Bozikos had a great look to try to tie that game, and Retzsteiner making the stop and still staying with it to grab it and hold on to it, and it ended up being the deciding factor as you see the SUNY Delhi fans going over to congratulate their fans. SUNY Delhi fans congratulating the players on a great season. As Husson will still waiting on confirmation on who will get some of these awards. But definitely a great way to start here for the Husson Eagles on the day to come away with this championship. We're taking a look over at SUNY Delhi's roster too. We look at their roster and there's lots of freshmen and sophomores on this team, and they're all going to be back next year. They are losing a few seniors, as I believe I'm counting 6 seniors that they will lose on the season, but some of them may possibly be back with that other year of eligibility. Well, now we'll send over to Becky Boobarb with the award ceremonies, and we'll be right back.
Thank you to all friends, family, and fans for supporting the student athletes and teams. We'd like to congratulate all of the players and coaches for competing in this 2022 NAC championship game. What a great game, gentlemen. You should be proud. We would like to begin by recognizing the all-tournament team. From Thomas College, Eric Labrie. Also from Thomas College, Joshua Joseph. From SUNY Polytechnic Institute, Kevin Ryan. Also from SUNY Polytechnic Institute, Abus Mohammed Ali. From Husson University, Alex Retzsteiner. From SUNY Delhi, Jonathan Walsh. From Husson University, Mosi Mesamanga. From SUNY Delhi, Michael Williams Jr. From Husson University, Miguel Morales. From SUNY Delhi, Anthony Cuellar. The final member of the all-tournament team is also the tournament MVP. From Husson University, Mario Alvarez. The NAC men's soccer champion will represent the conference in the 2022 NCAA Division III men's soccer championship beginning next weekend. Their destination and opponent will be announced in an online selection show at NCAA.com on Monday, November 7th at 1:30 p.m. We would ask that coaches, captains, and players from Husson University please come forward to accept your awards. Congratulations and good luck in the national tournament. And again, best of luck to the Eagles in the upcoming NCAA Championship. We'll all be rooting for you. This concludes the award ceremony. If you are heading out, please drive home safely.
As you see, the players all very excited on winning the NAC championship, and they will advance to the Division III playoffs as they will wait to hear who they will play for their opponents, which will be in a selection show sometime in the upcoming week here. But Avery, definitely a great way to redeem themselves after a tough loss last year in the NAC East Championship.
Certainly is, Isaac, and you can hear the emotion out there for this Eagles squad as a lot of these players have waited their whole careers for this moment, and it's certainly a big one.
It definitely is. Well, Avery, I think we're going to take a quick break here in between these games, but please stay tuned as we'll have women's North Atlantic Conference Championship action between SUNY Delhi and Husson University Eagles. I'm Isaac Pollard alongside Avery Henningsen. Thank you all for tuning in for this first game. It was Husson coming away with a 1-0 victory in overtime over SUNY Delhi to win the North Atlantic Conference Championship. Stay tuned as we'll get ready for the second game right here.